Hey, what's up, everybody? I am back. Now, I hope that you missed me. Well, you probably didn't miss me because you were able to see some replays. You saw the replay of Sarah Mills, the wonderful Sarah Mills. I think that was last week. Then there was another replay as well. But listen, I'm back here live and I'm ready for another episode of The Life of an Entrepreneur. I hope that you are ready for another episode as well. You know what I say at the beginning of every one of these. You need to get pen and paper if you're a pen and paper person. You need to get out your electronic note taking device if you are an electronic note taking device person, because as usual, we have a wonderful guest. I've been blessed. I don't take it for granted. Every episode from the very first episode to today, all of the guests have been outstanding. Today is no different. Now, if you have never watched this before, please go back and watch the other episodes because you are missing gems. That's a word that a lot of people say, so I'm going to use that. A myriad of gems that you are missing if you haven't watched this show. So I'm going to stop talking. Get out your pen and paper. Get ready for another episode of The Life of an Entrepreneur. Let's go. Yes, yes. Here we are. We're back. It's Tuesday. So, you know what that means. It's time for The Life of an Entrepreneur. No matter what platform you're watching this on right now, I encourage you, I ask you, I plead with you, share this episode so that other people can be a part of it. If you're watching live, let us know you're watching live in the comments. If you're watching the replay, let us know you're watching the replay in the comments. I am your host, Oliver Marcel, author, speaker, and coach in the relationship building and men's enrichment spaces, with the sole goal being to do what's on my t-shirt. Can you see my t-shirt? Let me move the mic out of the way. My t-shirt says 2020 before hindsight. There are so many things that I learned in hindsight, learned through trial and error, learned by mistakes, learned by falling into pitfalls, learned by doing the wrong thing and making the wrong decision. It is my life's mission to help somebody gain some level of clarity on the front end before they do something, say something, become something, hang out with somebody, make a decision that could throw off the trajectory of their life. That is my life's goal. And I do that by helping individuals build and maintain a phenomenal relationship, the relationship of their dreams, if you will, both personally and professionally. Also, the author of a book called Overcoming the Man Laws, for the man who wants to be his best despite what he was taught. And listen, today happens to be Giving Tuesday. So I'm feeling in a giving mood, and I'm going to figure out some way to give away this book to somebody. Listen, how about we just do this? If you put hashtag book in the comments, then I'll just pick somebody. How about that? I'm feeling, I'm in the giving mood. It's Giving Tuesday. And so those of you who don't know what that is, it is an opportunity that typically, you know how commercialized things are, right? Giving Tuesday, yeah, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday. You're supposed to take that as an opportunity to give to a cause that you believe in, to a business that you support, to a person that you love, whatever the case may be. So I'm gonna give a book away. How about that? All right. So listen, you know how this goes. I often have a few words to say before we bring our guest in, and today is no different. I'm going to share something that I do, and then I'm going to share the concept around it very briefly. So, we're about to go into the month of December, and last year, for the first time, I did something that was extremely beneficial to me. I took the month of December, and that month became a month of reflection. On this entrepreneurial journey, those of you who know my story, author, speaker, and coach, but I was doing that, excuse me, I was doing it alongside of being in the corporate space. In 2021, August of 2021, I jumped out to do it full time entrepreneurship, and I hit the ground running, and I pressed the gas all the way, the pedal to the metal. Coming down to the end of 2022, I was about to lose my mind. So here's what I decided to do. I decided to take December to regroup, to refocus, to write on this whiteboard that you see back here behind me, to get some thoughts out, to really kind of quiet a lot of the noise and center myself in a way that would set me up for the following year. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it in December, but here is what I am saying to you. On this entrepreneurial journey, do not dismiss the opportunity for rest. Do not dismiss the opportunity for self care. Do not dismiss the opportunity for a time of reflection. It is okay to slow down for a second so that you can speed up later. Often we're told that that is a weakness. We're often told, don't take your foot off the gas. We're often told, I'll sleep when I'm dead. You hear that often. I'm telling you that it is not a weakness. In order for you to think about this. I just came back from a road trip and I drove in a car that takes gasoline. Now, using the pedal to the metal analogy, I'll sleep when I'm dead analogy, don't ever take your foot off the gas analogy, I will eventually run out of gas. Now, is it a weakness if I have to pull into the gas station to get gas? Or is that actually smart? Because that's part of the process in order for me to continue on my journey. It's the same thing in your entrepreneurial life. It is not a weakness. It is actually part of the process. If you want to keep going, you may have to slow down, pull over for a second, gas up, get snacks, get water, Gatorade, whatever it is for your journey so that you can continue to go on. So that's when I choose to do it in December. It works for me. You do it when it works for you, but you need to do it because if this life is a journey, which you always hear me say, if this life is a journey, you need to do everything that you would do on a journey. And sometimes on a journey, you are required to slow down, to pull over, to gas up, to get snacks, to go use the bathroom, to stretch your legs. You need to do that in your entrepreneurial journey as well. That's all I have. That's all I'm going to say because I'm very excited to get Reem. My friend Reem is here. Reem, digital designer. We need to hear from her. And so, without further ado, let's bring on Reem as our guest today. Thank you for being here. Listen, I got to apologize. Can I apologize to you? I don't have my applause. So I'm just going
That's okay.
to clap and give some. Can I give some? Let me see if the balloons will come down. Will the balloons come down? The balloon. There we go.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I give. There you go. I give. I got to give you something. I got to give you something.
Even
Reem,
better.
do me a favor. Pronounce your last name.
Khatib.
Khatib. Okay, so you notice I didn't say it right because I wanted to hear you say it before I said it. I just don't like messing up people's names. So we got Reem Khatib with us here. Reem is a now I put website designer on it's digital designer, right? But Reem is fantastic. Can we just say that for a second? Reem is fantastic at what she does, and we're going to hear from Reem in just a second. Let me remind you where you are. This is sponsored by Love Entrepreneurs. And if you don't know who Love Entrepreneurs is a group, a fellowship of individuals, business owners, entrepreneurs, with the whole goal being to help ordinary people build extraordinary businesses. They do this a number of ways. One of their signature dishes, if you will, is called the Big Fix. And we're going to talk about that a little later on. Reem, let's start here. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and tell us what you do, and then we'll jump into the conversation.
Yeah, hi Oliver. Thank you so much for having me and for the lovely balloons. Digital all the way, of course, which is great. Well, my name is Reem and I'm a web designer. I've set up my business in 2014, designing well, anything digital. So it could be logo for, your virtual business cards. It could be, an email template, but mainly it was websites, because there was a real need for small businesses to have websites that represented them and made them look big. So that's what I do. I make small look big, because why not? They deserve a space.
I love that. I make small look big. And I love that you said that. I love that you said that. We got Cameron in the comments. Cameron is here. Thank you for being here. Hello, Reem and Oliver. We got Juan Lee. Juan Lee is in the comments as well. Hello, all. Thank you, Juan, for being here. I love that you said that. I make small look big because often we live in a world where we, for some reason, we have the need to categorize, right? So you got small businesses, you got medium businesses, you got big business. You got all these different categories that we kind of stick people in. And although it helps to us to distinguish in a way, I'm not saying it's all bad because it does help us to distinguish in a way, but it also sometimes limits us. And so if I'm a small business, sometimes you treat me like a small business. You uh dismiss me because I'm a small business. And I love the fact that you understand that and now take what you do and craft it in such a way that it removes some of that outer layer of characterization and allows the small to look big. That is phenomenal.
That's very well put, Oliver. Thank you so much.
That is phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And if you didn't think you would have a reason to work with Reem, there it is right there. That's the reason. So let's get into the backstory. I love a backstory. I love a great backstory. And I know as entrepreneurs, we always have some story that characterizes, that represents our journey to where we are right now. And if you wouldn't mind sharing, what's the journey that led you into this discovering this passion that you have?
The journey, I'm not going to get into it because it's quite a convoluted journey. But initially, I was born in Lebanon just as the war started. We were fortunate enough to be able to run away from the war, but which meant that we had to reinvent ourselves wherever we went, whatever country would welcome us. It meant that we had to settle there. It meant new school for me, new friends for me, new culture, and that I think made me resilient in terms where I can just pick up and go. I can just, start from scratch because I've done that all my life. And looking back, and your T-shirt says it, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes looking back, you understand how things came together and why things came together. So my entrepreneurial journey came where, um, I used to take courses at uni, but then you worked as a graphic designer in the evening and on weekends. So kind of putting the two together, where working and studying at the same time, but kind of putting what I've learned into that. And my freelance kind of journey started from there, where I'd offer my services to different companies where they needed a brochure made. So scan, do, put into a layout. And then I worked in post-production houses doing 2D and 3D animation, and worked on also when they started with their own web design company. So that's how I have a good grasp of the digital side, but also the website. At one point, I've decided to open my own jewelry business. So I used to design and sell jewelry. The way I approached it again is affordability. So you can still get something that has value with gold and diamond, but still affordable because of the way I put things together. And this is where I was a really small business in terms of, have the product, sell the product, and saw how difficult it is for a business to grow with so many things to consider. And then after a while, I just couldn't grow without putting more investment into that business. And it wasn't the right time nor the right fit for me, because at the end of the day, I'm really more of the creative side, and I was more interested in working on the website of my business rather than the actual everything else side of the business. So in 2014, I went back to doing what I know best. But at this point, I had a firm understanding of what a business is and how it runs. So I did a course with Google for 6 months on digital marketing, because without the marketing, it's just an art piece that's there, and it doesn't serve anyone a purpose. So I really wanted to get that creative side, the knowledge that I've learned throughout my journey, and the understanding of the digital marketing. And I did marketing at uni, so I really understood how important that was, and put it together and serve it in such a way to help small businesses. Because big businesses, it's easy, right? They have the money, they can buy this and get the best marketing department and this and that, and if a big business doesn't succeed, there's an issue.
Right.
A smaller business does not have all of that, and I wanted to champion them, and I wanted to help them, bringing something that is viable, that would work for them, and that could grow as their business develop and grows, and be there with them on that journey. Because it's amazing. Without those small businesses, then the whole thing doesn't make sense, right? It's them that drives us forward, I think.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, so I want to pull one thing out. That there's a lot you said. There's one thing though that for those who are on this entrepreneurial journey, there's one thing you said that I actually want you to uh, unpack a little bit and tell us why. You said that without marketing, it's simply an art piece.
Yeah. So what is
I think
marketing?
I think that's incredible because all of us have, obviously, we're on this journey for a reason. There's something we feel that is significant as it relates to what we can offer the world. But without marketing, it's just an art piece. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, the thing is, the term marketing is being pulled in so many directions. But I just want to go back to what I think is the essence of it is communication. That's
Okay.
what it is. So without proper communication, and of course, you'd be talking to a child differently than you'd be talking to an adult. So you have to craft that communication to the right audience that you're speaking to, and that's what it comes down to. But I'm finding a lot of entrepreneurs, especially small business, when they're starting, they're so involved. They come from a place of passion. They understand what they're doing, but they don't understand how to communicate it, how to package it in terms of to the people that they want to reach and communicate that with. Which means that at the end of the day, what they release as a website or is can look really good, if beautiful, all kinds of bells and whistles. But if the communication isn't there, what it is, it's a beautiful piece of art that's living on online somewhere, but it's not really serving a purpose to their business, because the communication piece is missing. So all the effort that they can be doing, whether they're putting ads and their social media and they're driving and working really hard to drive that kind of traffic onto their website, but it falls short, because that website is speaking a different language or not speaking at all. So this is where the issue starts. It's just the communication, and that's what marketing is how do you communicate the value that you have, that you want to share with the world? How do you communicate it? To whom? How do you put it together? And this is where it really becomes powerful, is when everything comes together. The art, the strategy, or the communication, or the marketing together, that would drive your business forward, because then it's fertile ground, for whatever it is that you're building.
I love it. I love that. The communication. And I love the way that you broke that down and in a way that is palatable and easily digested because you're right. That term marketing is a really big umbrella term. And underneath that umbrella are all kinds of things that could take you down a path that maybe is not the right one for you. So I appreciate that you did that. Now, because that's such an important piece, how do you, without giving away too much, because we want people to come and work with you, so we can't give away too many secrets, but without giving away too much, how do you, let's say I'm coming to you for the first time and I have this passion, I have this fire about me and what I do, but I need that communication piece. What do you take individuals through? Is there a process you take them through in the beginning to help them flush that out?
Absolutely. I mean, I love hearing people's story, and
Mm,
I let them talk, and I ask them questions. Why are you doing what you're doing? Who is this thing for? What benefit is it to people? What does it bring to people? So there's always a why. We don't go into business just because we fall out of bed and we decided to open this business. There is a reason that made us do that. So I want to go back to that reason before we kind of tangled ourselves into, you know, I need a website because someone said I needed a website, and I also needed to be on Instagram, and I needed to be this, and I needed to do that. But why
hmm
to begin with? So I always go back to the why. And what do you need that website to do? Having a website is great, but it needs to serve a purpose. Do
Yeah.
you want this website for people to buy products from? Do you want this website so you can educate people about a certain aspect of your service? Do you want this website because you want them to interact with something and download something? Do you want, so there's a why. You can't, once you have everything in place and you understand the why, the who, and the benefit, then everything, not just the website, all your communications that come afterwards, all flow in the same direction. They're all pulling in the same direction, and they're hitting all the right notes for your business, whether it's your branding. We all have those values, right? I mean, for me, it's integrity. This is my value. So everything
hmm
that I do follows the same thing. So
Right.
everything is flowing, and you don't have kinks, and you don't have, things. And then if someone comes and helps you in your business, they know which way you're going because everything is going in the same direction and it's not kind of jumping all over the place. So these are my first question. And it's so funny. I just received a message, asking me how much does a website cost?
hmm
Well, what do you want the website for? What do you need it to do? Who is it talking to? Do you have the content, the wording, the communication, the people, the benefits, not the features? Who cares about the features? The benefit. How is it
hmm
going to serve me as your client? And these are not easy questions to ask. I,
Yeah.
I, I understand that they're not easy questions to ask, but if you don't have them pinned down, I guarantee your website will not perform the way it should perform. It's not going to be the best tool that you own for your business.
Wow.
So, yeah, getting those questions and sometimes talking about them to someone who knows how to listen and kind of pull it out of you might do the trick.
Yeah. That's true. And for those of you who are listening or watching the replay, if you didn't get those questions that Reem just posed, you're gonna have to go back and watch it. I told you in the beginning you're gonna have to take notes. I told you that. I try to warn you that you're gonna have to take notes. Every one of these episodes, there's some gems that are dropped. And I love that you pose those questions as things that we should be thinking about when we're creating a website. You said something very, very key. Forget about the features right now. And that is often the first thing, and I'm gonna say we, because I'm guilty of that as well. That is often the first thing we go towards. I want it to do this, and I want this to flip like that, and I want this to spin, and I want. Okay, hold on. What, what is the message? what is the purpose is what you're asking, right? What are the benefits, to use the word that you used? What are the benefits? And I love that you did that, because what that does is redirect our attention and refocus our perspective around what it is we're trying to accomplish with this website. You say something on LinkedIn, and those of you who are not familiar with Reem, make sure you connect with her on LinkedIn. Her LinkedIn is in the description of wherever you're watching this. You said something on LinkedIn that I love in your description, that a website is not merely a space on the internet. And I'm using my own words, but that's essentially, you like it is a piece of your overall brand.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't look at it like that. We just like, okay, we got to get out there. We need a website so we need somewhere to send people to. That's the phrase I hear all the time. I need somewhere to send people to. Okay. And then
Which
what's going to happen when they get there?
there you go.
What's going to happen when they get there? And we don't
That's
often think about that.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I read somewhere, and it's for me, it was just like a light bulb moment. So someone goes into a hardware store wanting an 8-inch drill bit. So the idea is, do they really want an 8-inch drill bit? No, that's not what they want. They want to drill an 8-inch hole in their wall to hang something. So,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not the bit. That's what they need to drill the hole. So that's their goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you should be thinking about in your website, that you're not selling the 8-inch drill bit. You're selling the hole. Your solution, you're selling the solution to the problem,
Mm-hmm.
not the tool to use it. So once you shift your perspective into, the benefit rather than the feature, yeah, the feature is the bit, fine, they can buy it anywhere. But once you solve the whole problem, then that's it. You've got not just one client. They probably will come back, and they're probably going to tell their friends, and they're going to. So it's that's how you should approach it, really. And yes, getting people onto your website is great, but once they're there, if there's nothing to hold them, worse, if they're really turned off by something, that's even
Mm-hmm.
worse.
Yeah, true. Very true. Very true. Cameron's in the comments said, tough questions. What do you do? Why do you do it? Why should anyone care? Tough
Yeah.
questions to answer, but questions that need to be answered, especially if you're going to stand up something that is going to be representative of who you are and what you do and why people should care and why you do it. So that is awesome that you do that. I also love that you touched on the fact on the price piece, because we are often, many of us move to the price piece immediately, and I understand why. Right? We need to know whether we can afford it, what our budget is. But I love that you counteracted that with, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Because what you're trying to accomplish obviously will now be factored into the time that it takes to create that accomplishment, which would then be factored into the amount of money that it costs for that creation, right?
But the thing is, you can do things. You don't have to put every functionality out there into your website, which will cost a lot of money, but you may
Right.
not need it. Or maybe you might need it in a couple of years, but for today, you might just need a little bit. So why should you pay all of that for some of it that you're not going to use?
Mm,
Build it and scale it. So look at what you need today. You might need something else tomorrow. Maybe your business is going to go in a different direction. And then all this money that you've put in all these bells and whistles and functionalities that you will never ever use. So it's money that you know, threw out the window. Look
mm,
at what you need now, build it small, shrink wrap it, but then that shrink wrap will expand as your business expands and develops, and you can then adapt it to whichever goal it's going towards, instead of putting everything because someone said that you had to.
mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, you know, which is for small businesses, every little counts. It's not like they have, millions to spend and try and see.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Juan Lee said this is so important. Thank you, Reem. Cameron's in the comments as well. I love the drill bit versus needing a whole analogy. It is so true. I'm a portrait painter and a very good one, might I add. Those of you who are not familiar with Cameron, make sure you check him out. Does that mean that I sell portrait paintings? No, I deliver legacy and immortality. I love that, Cameron. That
Exactly. That's
that is
exactly what
awesome.
I'm saying. Yeah.
That is awesome. I love that. Now let's. I'm going to transition a little bit because this is a Love Entrepreneurs sponsored show. Those of you who don't know who Love Entrepreneurs is or what Love Entrepreneurs is a group of individuals, business owners, individuals like myself, individuals like Reem and others that you've seen on this show. Whole goal is to help ordinary people build extraordinary businesses using something called the Big Fix. Now, Reem, you had the
The
opportunity
receiving end of the big fix.
to be, to be in this thing called the Big Fix. We're going to talk about what the Big Fix is in just a moment. And we're going to talk to Reem about her experience with the Big Fix in just a moment. But before we do that, we're going to hear from my buddy Rob, who's going to talk about his experience with the Big Fix. And we'll be right back right after that.
Well, my name is Rob Howes, and I just had a fantastic session, Big Fix with Love Entrepreneurs, and we did some big fixing. We found some areas to actually take a look at and open up and discover. We discovered some opportunities to bring more attention to what we're doing. And so it was a really fantastic dialogue. I'm looking forward to putting these things I learned and heard and the ideas I got, putting them into practice. Because practice makes permanent. That's what I heard.
That was Rob, and Rob has experienced this Big Fix as well. For those of you who are not familiar with it, I'm going to just break it down very simply for you and very briefly. The Big Fix is an opportunity for you to come together with a group of entrepreneurs across several different industries. Think think mastermind hot seat. You get to sit in front of this group of individuals virtually and share the vision for your business. Share any pain points you may have, ask any questions that you may have, share any goals or any dreams. Whether you're just starting out or you've been in business for 20 years, you get to sit down and share all of that. And then the group's sole focus and goal is to pour back into you suggestions and ideas and systems and tools and collaborations and people and whatever they feel like is could help you move the needle in your business. It is free. Let's have a moment of silence for that just for a second. It's free. You can come, you can be my guest, and you don't even have to sit in the hot seat. You can come and just contribute until you are ready to sit in the hot seat. So, for those of you who might be interested in that, you can reach out to me on any platform that you're watching this on. I'd love to have you as my guest. It happens every Wednesday and Thursday. It's morning for the East Coast folk. It's afternoon for the folk in the UK and other various places in the world. You'd have to get your time system correct. But reach out to me. I'd love to have you as a part of that. Now, Reem, you experienced this firsthand.
I did. I did. And you know what? It's so funny. There are just so many elements to this that I want to talk about. First is when you're in it, you're in it, right? As entrepreneurs, I love that you take that month off. And I think I want to try to introduce that into my business. Maybe a day off a week where I'm kind of having a helicopter view of what I'm doing and where I'm going and but I don't. I know I should, and I know it's important, and I know, but I'm stuck in. And it's so hard sometimes to shift that perspective because we're attached to what we're doing. We are what we're doing. I am my business. So having someone coming and looking at it from their perspective and retelling me what I do, but from their point of view, made me say, okay, how you said sometimes you wonder how people view you as a person. It's like, oh, I wonder how people see me through their eyes. That, it'll be interesting because, but that's exactly it. Is having those amazing people, because they're not just some people that kind of like happen to trip on this place. Those are professionals that are in the business. They know what they've been there, they've done it. And they're looking at your business in a helpful way, in a way that wants to kind of they champion you. It's almost having mentors. They're looking at your business, and that's all they're doing. And it's intense. I'm not gonna lie, it is intense because you're kind of you're laying it bare in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But I think my business kind of caught like a gust of wind came and moved it forward in things that I want to do, but also in things that I've decided are not for me, by asking the right questions. Because sometimes it's not about the that's what I want to do. It's also like, you know what, this is not, I don't want to do this.
Mhm.
It's clear that I don't. So you're closing some things off, which makes other path clearer to you,
Yeah.
which is as important. It's just amazing, really amazing.
That's awesome, and I love that was your experience. And I also love that you were honest that it was intense. Like it is intense. I've done it 4 times. So I understand. I've done it. I've done it 4 times, in various sectors. One with the relationship building space, one with the men's space, one with the design and video editing and voiceover stuff that I do, and then I did one with a group. Myself and Rob did one as well. So it is intense, and I love the analogy of the gust of wind, pushing your
Yep.
business forward. I love that. And I love the fact that because there's a balancing act here, right? So it's not just inundated with things and you're just like, I'm going to do everything. Some of this process also opens your eyes, like you said, to the fact that there are some things I am not going to do.
Yep.
They don't fit.
Yep.
They don't align, whatever the word is that you choose. And so I love that you had that experience. And it's a great experience. And for those of you who are listening to this, you have 2 options at the end of that experience. So when it's done, you get a report of everything that was shared in that meeting. You have 2 options. One, you can take that report, go off and be great, and we will cheer you on and we want to see you be great. The other option that you have is that there are individuals within the fellowship that can help implement the things that you have decided are for you. So let's say there is a marketing piece that you decide is for you. There's a business coaching piece you decide is for you. There's a video editing piece you decide is for you. There are people like myself and others who are poised and ready to be of assistance. And so you can collaborate, do business with those folks inside of the fellowship that can help you also move the needle. And so it is a great space to be. Yes, I am saying that, and I'm not just saying that because the show is sponsored by Love Entrepreneurs. I am actually a part of the community. And those of you who are a part of the community know that you see my face and hear my voice quite often. So I'm not just saying this because I'm the host of the Life of an Entrepreneur. It is a good group of individuals. And it is a group of individuals that care about seeing you win. And that's important because sometimes you run into a group of individuals and it seems like they care about seeing you win, but there's an ulterior motive. These folks just want to see you win, period. Whether you win with them or win with us or you win on your own, the win is the win. And that's what they're after. And so thank you, Reem, for being a part of that experience. And it was a pleasure. I got to sit in on some of yours as well. And so it was a pleasure being a part of that experience. And listen, those of you who are watching this and you know that you need some level of digital presence, or you think you need some level of digital presence and you want somebody to help flush out the answers to those questions about what you do and why you do it and who is it for and why is it important and why should they care And what does that representation look like? Reem is right here on your screen. She is the person that you need to get in contact with to help you do that. And we're going to find out how we can connect with Reem in a little while. But before we get to that, Reem, there's one more thing I'd like for you to share, if you don't mind. And we ask all of our guests to provide some level of guidance, some tips, if you will, to entrepreneurs. So I'm going to ask for two separate groups of people. You have some folk who watch this show that are on the fence about the entrepreneurial journey. Yeah, you know what? Everybody paints it as, Rolls Royces and private jets. And I don't know. I don't know if that's really what it is. I don't know if I want to get into this entrepreneurial thing. Give some advice for that group of people that are on the fence. And then the other group of people are individuals like ourselves who have already been on a part of this journey, but we're looking to move the needle in one way or another. What is some encouragement or advice that you have for that group?
Well, I mean, the thing is, to be honest, I don't think entrepreneurship is for everyone. It isn't. If it's not, that's okay. Mm-hmm. That's really okay. And there's nothing, it's just a way of life. It's hard work because for me, I can be working on a Saturday, I can be working on a Sunday, I can be working late in the evening. I love what I do. So it doesn't feel like work to me. And sometimes I do have to put kind of like saying, okay, no, I do have office hours, so I'm gonna. But a lot of times I'm just so excited about a project that it'll be in my mind, it'll be eating at me in my mind, and I could just sneak into the office and do my work. So it is a labor of love, and it's almost like farming. I think that you need to be tending to it all the time. It needs to be looked after. It needs to be nourished. It needs to be loved, whether the business itself or you, because there's no one else. I'm my business, so I don't have anyone else running the business with me. So that's how I see it. But it's a labor of love, and if you believe in it, then you should go for it. As simple as that. Know the benefits that you're offering, and if you believe in those, just go for it. Really.
I like it. If you believe in it, go for it.
Yeah.
You should put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
If you believe in it, go for it. So what about for those of us who are, we're on this journey, and on this journey, there are some, there's some ups and downs. It's a roller coaster ride for many of us. What's some encouragement?
I mean, for me, what I've learned quite recently is to find my lane. So my lane is my lane. What works for them, or the guy is on the right, or the lady's on the left doing her thing, that's their journey. My journey is my own. And if it doesn't look like somebody else's journey, that's okay. As long as I'm truthful to it, and I stick to it, and I believe in it, and not be tempted by that shiny object over there, or that thing that's going to make me do, I don't know, amazing things over there. So I'm not derailed by my journey. And if there are people along the way that can help you recalibrate, then go for it. Don't be afraid to ask, a mentor, someone who's been there before you, who can take you as you are and kind of either champion you or give you that little extra push that you might need. Otherwise, just enjoy that journey. It's yours. And not kind of be worried about what everybody else is doing, because it may not work for you and you might be miserable doing it. And I think that for me, when I took a step back, say, well, you know what? It's okay. It's okay if I don't offer this, that, and the other within my packages. I'm going to offer the best web design work that I can possibly offer. And that's my journey. I'm going to stand by it for now because that's my lane.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. And you say something that I say almost every show. Enjoy the journey. right? And that
Yeah,
it is a journey, and it is your journey.
that's the thing. That it's your on. You scroll into social media and you see this and this, and you feel so small, and you feel like you're doing the wrong thing, and you think you're saying the wrong thing. But just abstract that. Just abstract that. Go center yourself on your remember why you started it, remember that passion that led you there. And I think you will not, I think a lot of burnout is that, is trying to be on that treadmill, but it's not your speed. Doesn't
Hmm.
matter, just find your speed, find your lane, and do your thing, and you're going to be brilliant at it. I know for sure.
That's awesome. Listen, you heard it here. You heard it. This is great advice. And you and I talked before the show started. That last December, what happened last December was birthed out of that burnout.
Yeah.
It was birthed out of what you exactly what you described. Me listening to a million different
Yeah.
business coaches and doing a million different courses and following a million different influencers and trying to do a million different things as a result of those millions of other things that I was watching and comparing my level of success to their level of success. And it didn't match up. And so now I'm spinning.
Yeah.
And at some point, I said to my wife, I was like, listen, I have to quiet all of this because I'm losing it.
But it took courage. A lot of people will just drop out, and it's such a shame because they do have so much to offer.
Hmm.
But because of they're saying all these things around them, because of all that talk, that it's a bit of a shame. And I think, yeah, it's
Yeah.
important to have a mentor or someone that they can trust, because a lot of people are going to say you should do this, that, and the other. But if it doesn't suit you, it doesn't matter, right? I mean,
Right.
what's the point of doing that if it's not in your personality, or it's
Hmm.
never going to work.
Yeah.
So find your tribe. Find
Yep.
your tribe.
That's good. That's good. And you've heard today a lot of talk about perspective. You've heard uh, that it is about you. It is your journey. It is okay to navigate that journey in the way that best suits you. And it's okay if that navigation doesn't match up to your neighbor's navigation. It's okay. So I love that you do. I love that you said that and you've reinforced that with those who are either watching now or watching on the replay. Now, listen, here's what I need from everybody watching. Again, I'm going to say this again. If you are looking to answer the questions around your online presence and whether it's needed and why it's needed and who it's for and what should it accomplish, Reem is the person that you should be getting in contact with. How can we get in contact with you?
Oh, it's very easy. LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. That's how I communicate. That's how I introduce. I like to collaborate as well, because I think we all offer something to one another. So I'm always on LinkedIn or an email
I love it.
at
And
dreamwebdesign.com.
so you see the email on the screen right now. You can email Reem and set up a consultation with her. You can also reach out to her on LinkedIn. You can do that simply by going to the description of whatever platform you are watching this on right now. Make sure you get in contact with Reem. I can personally vouch, based on some work that I've seen Reem do, that she is your person.
Thanks,
There's
Oliver.
nothing else to say.
Flushing them.
Nowhere else to go. Contact her. Okay. Don't just put something out there just to say that you got something out there. And when people get there, they don't know what to do. Get Reem on your team. Allow her to assist you with creating something that speaks 100% towards who you are, what you do, why you do it, and why it's important. Reem, thank you so much for being a part of this. Let me see if I can get some more balloons because I don't have my I don't have let's there we go. Because I don't have
Yay!
my I don't have my stuff today, man. I'm slacking. I don't have my sound effects going on today. But thank you so much for being a part of this experience. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. I'm going to put you backstage for just a second. Don't go anywhere because I want to thank you again off camera, and we're going to finish off the show in just a moment. But thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you, Oliver,
Appreciate
and everyone who came on and is watching this. Really
it.
appreciate all the comments as well. So thank you.
Indeed, and I will speak to you in just a moment.
Okay.
So that was Reem. I told you at the beginning of the show that you would have to take notes. You would have to be prepared. Once again, a phenomenal, phenomenal guest. You need to be in contact with Reem because she can create something for you digitally that can speak to who you are, what you do, why you do it, and why it is important. So you need to be there. Raj is in the comments. Thank you for being here, Raj. Raj said, "Thank you, Reem." And I think that's supposed to be Oliver. Juan said thanks as well. Juan is in the comments. Thank you for those of you who are watching now. For those of you who are watching the replay, I thank you as well. Listen, you heard Reem say it. So you hear me say it all the time, but I love that Reem said it because that means that I'm not just saying stuff, right? You heard how knowledgeable Reem is. So obviously, this must be true that this life of an entrepreneur is a journey. You need to enjoy the journey, embrace the journey, understand that it's okay that it is your journey and it does not have to look like anybody else's. Take some time if you need some time. Refuel if you need to refuel. Regroup if you need to regroup. Get around some folk who have your best interests at heart. You heard Reem talk about mentorship and getting around some folk who can mentor you. Love Entrepreneurs is a phenomenal place to find individuals who do that. Love Entrepreneurs is a group of individuals that the sole goal is for them to help ordinary people build extraordinary businesses. So if you want to know more about Love Entrepreneurs, you can contact me, send me a message. I would love to have you as a part of the Big Fix as well. Love to have you as my guest. So make sure you reach out to me about that as well. Listen, this was a phenomenal episode. Thank you for being a part of this episode. If this is your first time, please go back and watch the other episodes on all the platforms that you're watching it on now. You can go back and watch the other weeks, other great guests as well, sharing incredible information to help you move the needle in your business. All right, that's it. We're done. Another episode in the books. Love Entrepreneurs is the sponsor of this. The Life of an Entrepreneur is the show. We'll see you next week. Peace.